Welcome to the Bank First Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight on Northwest Community College. And you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour. Now, here's your host, Gary Darby.
Indeed, that's me, 9:06 on your Thursday, and the Bank First Ranger Hour is about to begin. First of all, around 9:15, have Alyssa Algee. She is theater instructor. She'll be with us to discuss the big showcase things coming up after spring break. And then we'll think about April and further and whatnot and what the theater department is doing at NWCC. And Patti Gordon returns, the Executive Director of the NWCC Alumni and the Foundation. We want to recap the soiree just a little bit. Talk about that event that happened last weekend. See maybe how we were able to help with some of the students along the way and just kind of get that. And I've had a little phone conversation with Brian Lentz this morning. I think I have all of the schedules and things as best I can in the sporting world for Northwest. Some seasons coming to a close. We've got tournament action for women's basketball. We've got softball kick-started, baseball going, tennis going, all of that I'll get to. But right now, it is what we call the Bank First Ranger Hour, and we are underway. We'll talk theater next. Alyssa Algee joins us after the break. We'll talk about all things in the Northwest Theater Department as we get our show rolling here on this Thursday, March 2nd.
This hour is everything Northwest. Your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College and powered by Bank First. Thanks for joining us on the Bank First Ranger Hour. Join the conversation now by texting 662-426-1093.
The text message line is open every time you hear me speak on this program, Tuesday through Friday. If we're talking, well, whatever it is. If you want to get in here on the North Mississippi studios at 662-426-1093. Super Talk on Thursdays at this time does the Bank First Ranger Hour. We're going to talk theater. Our instructor and friend, Alyssa Algee, returns to the program. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning.
I appreciate you joining us. I know, schedules have changed, things have happened, and we get you on here at 9:15 this morning to kind of catch up a little bit with you, and before we get into the theater showcase and what's coming up in April, can you give us a kind of an overview? Have things been going well? How's the semester been as far as the theater and for you as an instructor?
It's been going great. This year has been wonderful. We have such a good group of students right now. They are go-getters and all ambitious, doing everything from student design for our upcoming show to directing their own scenes, and they're a great group of students. We've had a great year.
So after spring break, we're doing a showcase. Can you expand a little bit?
Yes. So we implemented this last year, and we call it the Theater Showcase. It's when our students who've been working on all of these pieces all year get to present these pieces to the public. So we have our directing class is presenting their directed scenes that are cast, directed, and designed by students. And in addition to that, our musical theater students will be presenting their musical theater pieces in between those scenes. So it's a collection, kind of like a review of a lot of different shows and a lot of different musical pieces through. And so it's just a good night of lots of different types of theater.
Do you have a number about how many people, student-wise, are taking courses in theater at Northwest? And I guess I'm interested to see, how many are doing these kinds of things. And here's a dad, right, in me, that watches a 9-year-old who likes art, but he also, obviously, we went to a little musical and things that were at school yesterday, and I was watching him on the front row and his expressions and how he liked to sing, and he was in all the, he was into the performance that they were doing musically. And it just made me wonder, how many still are we getting, leaving high school, going into college, maybe taking some classes and doing things?
Of course, yes. We have 22 majors, but all told, as far as those who participate, we have probably over 40 because we don't have a majors requirement to be participatory. So we have a student who's an electrical engineer. We have a student who's a nurse. We have students who are music department. And so when you put them all together, all of the different students who come together to work on theater, we have probably over 40.
Excellent. We're talking with Alyssa, theater instructor, and things going on the Northwest campus. What night, again, will this showcase be? And I guess we're doing it. Can you give location, times, and things of that nature?
Yeah, absolutely. So the theater showcase will be March 21st and 22nd at 7 p.m. in the Fine Arts Auditorium on the front of Northwest campus. Ticketing is free, general admission, and we just welcome any and all who want to come.
How much time are the students putting into the program and the different things? Yeah, right?
A lot. They put in a lot of time because we do our best to make sure that they have so many opportunities. So they're here a lot, especially right now with rehearsals. So they have been working on their directing scenes since the beginning of this semester. Their musical theater pieces, they've been working since last fall. We just continue those coaching sessions throughout the year. So it just depends. They each puts in the time that they feel is necessary to as far as outside rehearsals. But they work on these pieces pretty much every day. And that's in addition to the master classes and the other things that we offer here at Northwest Theater.
I guess without giving too much away, can you give us a hint on what we would see, like what some of the performances might be about, or musically, what type music or things you may find if we come to this event?
Oh, yeah, of course. We have scenes from shows like A Raisin in the Sun. We have a scene from Hamlet. We're going to see a scene from The Passions of Dracula.
Yeah.
We're seeing a scene from Death of a Salesman, all different types of scenes. And then our musical pieces are all over the map. We are looking at musical pieces from Once Upon a Mattress, from The Man of La Mancha, the story of Don Quixote, Sweeney Todd, The Barber of Fleet Street, Legally Blonde. Yeah, the songs are all over the map. It's going to be great.
So as an instructor, do you find it interesting to see the different student and what they pull, right? The piece that they want and what connects with them and what they want? Or do you even help them in that regard? Or is it all the student, they've got something in their mind, and then you can kind of help direct the director, so to speak?
It's a little of both, actually. So one of the first things that we do when they look at picking a piece is we let them peruse, look, hunt, find, see if they can find something that really sparks an emotion in them. Because, it's art, and art should elicit some kind of an emotion. So we look for that first, and if they struggle with that a little bit, that's when I'll step in or Kayla will step in, and we'll kind of help guide them by asking what they're looking for, what is something that speaks to them, what's a message that they would like to, get behind. And with that, we have the opportunity to not only help them do something that they're passionate about, but also kind of guide them towards something that might be challenging or something they might not choose for themselves because it would be difficult or hard. And we help them through that and help them understand that, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible.
Excellent. Alyssa, let's now move into something in the month of April. You mentioned the words Boeing, and so tell us about that.
So Boeing is our spring full production. It's a non-musical about, and it is a hilarious farce. It's this just rib-cracking funny story of this man he lives in Paris. He is a very suave man, and he has worked out a way to have 3 fiancées at one time. And these fiancées are all flight attendants or air hostesses, and they never fly in at the same time. He's got their schedules down pat. And, of course, something changes in their scheduling, and they all end up coming home at the same time, and chaos ensues.
Excellent. That sounds like a fun production to be a part of, and to see. Can you tell us who some of the, and I guess we've talked about names of students. Is it okay to mention who might be in some of these productions?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's do it. So Boeing is a fairly small cast, which is great because it gives us a lot of opportunity to hone skills. Our 2 main male leads are Dylan Bailey and Gabriel Smith. And then our ladies in the play are Megan Harrelson. She's playing the grumpy French maid. And then we have Olivia Callahan is playing the German air hostess with Lufthansa. Anna Denton Landrum, she is playing our Italian air hostess. And Taylor Lindsay is playing our American one. We also are very privileged to have several student designers on this production. So it's being directed by Kayla Manzalillo, the other instructor here. But our lighting design is fully student. That's Tanner Hayes. Our sound design is Jacob Mackey. And our hair and makeup is going to be designed by Kieran Shaw. And we're really excited by all of that because we love to see our students get passionate about designing and the production side of the theater.
Alyssa, where do most of these students come from? Are they within this, North Mississippi and Northwest area, or do we have some out-of-staters also?
For the most part right now, we have primarily North Mississippi students. They're coming from Hernando, DeSoto Central, Calhoun City. They're all over the map as far as North Mississippi goes. We don't have any that are coming from too far away at this moment.
Excellent. Look, I want to thank you again for joining us, and things for those that are parents that might have maybe there are high school kids right now that are interested in theater, or there are those that are listening. How can they get in touch? How can they find out information about the program at Northwest?
So we do have a website on the Northwest website. If you go to northwestms.edu and search theater, you're going to find my contact information, and you can shoot me an email anytime, and I'm happy to answer any and all questions, set up a scholarship audition, or just help you figure out the ways into Northwest, because the transition from high school to college is difficult.
True. But obviously, as you guys are talking about, class sizes are very small and easy, and you guys can help as instructors, really help in that regard in the transition to college.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. We keep a really close advisor relationship with our students because we want them to do the absolute best that they can here. So we help them, and we help them kind of identify what their theater career looks like, if it's going to continue, what school they might want to move on to, if they choose to change majors, what that might look like, and just general Northwest things like dealing with financial aid, dealing with, classes that work for you, classes that don't work for you, and our only goal is to help them succeed and get through with the absolute best experience that they can.
Great conversation as always, Alyssa. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That's our friend and instructor in the theater department, Alyssa Algee, joining us. And if you want to email her, parents, prospective students, whatever it might be, Algee, ALGEE, at northwestms.edu. And you can get in touch with the theater department in a myriad of ways, as she said. Good stuff coming up after spring break with the showcase of the students, whether they are directing or the musical theater or whatever it might be. And then in April, again, Boeing, like the airplane. And as she mentioned and gave you all the details of that, now you can put it all together. We take a little pause. We come back. We're going to soiree a little bit with Patti Gordon. We'll talk foundation news next.
It's the time of the season.
Thanks for listening to the Bank First Ranger Hour, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on SuperTalk Mississippi 93.7 and streaming live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour.
And when the program's over, I chop it up. We send it off to Dr. Andrew Dale, and he sends it everywhere to the podcast form. And so we will have that done for you a little bit later on today. And you can catch the program anywhere you find your podcast. You can stream us. You can do whatever. You can continue to join us live here on Supertalk 93.7 as we now bring in our friend, the Executive Director of the Northwest Alumni and Foundation, Patti Gordon. How are you?
I'm doing great, Gary. Good morning to y'all.
Have you taken a little rest since the soiree, or is it still just full bore go for you also?
Well, we're still full going. There are a lot of wrap-up things to do after the event, but you know what? We have spring break coming up, so that's what we're looking forward to, and we will rest then.
I understand. Had a great conversation with Michael Joe Cannon last week on one of the programs. obviously we talked about the different things and the people you honored and whatnot. Just kind of fill us in on what the night was like and what kind of time did we have in honoring people, but at the same time raising some money, which we'll get into.
Right. We had an awesome night at the Northwest Soiree Boots and Pearls. The weather was perfect. The setting was fabulous. Everybody had a really good time. And, it is not to go unnoticed, all of the help that we had. We had so many volunteers from both the college and alumni volunteered to help pull this event off. And it was truly a coming together of the Northwest family to do this. And, we do it for the benefit of our students. The bottom line is it is a fundraiser. And while we also get to spotlight many of our alumni and those that really sing Northwest praises and also love the college and are out cheering for Northwest. So we get to honor folks and at the same time raise money for our students.
And with that, what did we bring in, and how much fun did we have in raising that money? Could you tell us a little bit about how much the profit was?
Absolutely. So our bottom line looks like our profit is right around $127,000, and
wow.
That is great. This is only our second year to do this event. Last year, our profit was around $111,000, so we have increased 14.4%, if you want me to be exact. So we're really happy with that, and could not do it with all of the sponsors that we had. Generous folks from all of the counties that we serve really came together and sponsored this event. We appreciate them. And another thing that we did was had the online auction, and we had folks that donated items for our auction. The auction itself brought in $16,000. And I want to share a fun story with you. This is how this Ranger Hour is helping us and where your broadcast is going. We had an auction donor. His name is Daryl Ricks. I'm going to give a shout out to Daryl Ricks with Ideas and Installations. He heard us on the radio a couple of weeks before the event. We were talking about the auction, and he called me up that afternoon and said, "Hey, Patti, I want to donate a granite kitchen countertop change-out for your auction, worth $5,000. So somebody got a really awesome kitchen counter change-out with granite and everything from Ideas and Installations, compliments of Daryl Ricks. So people are listening, and it is certainly helping us and helping the students here.
Well, that's good to hear. Hopefully my boss heard that, too,
Yes.
It is working. And shout out Daryl. Great job. And if there's any others of you out there, please call Patti and let's just continue this. So $127,000 or more that you just mentioned. Again, that goes into scholarship money for students. Can you go back to that just a little bit and describe to the people, look, this is what we did raise. We were up 14% from last year, but here's where it's going.
Right. So the profits from the soiree help fund different resources. It's for, in addition to scholarships, we have students that have emergency situations, and sometimes the foundation is the only resource left to help them. So, we have students, sometimes they find themselves homeless. We're able to get them in a dorm. They need help with textbooks. We have helped students that have had a house fire and helped them there. And it also, like gas money.
Sure.
Students that commute back and forth, maybe they need help with transportation to get to and from class. Other things that we do is faculty development. Our faculty is involved in something called AQ certification. It's the Association of College and University Educators. It's effective teaching practices that our faculty is able to participate in and truly helps the education that our students are receiving. So our faculty benefits from the proceeds from this. Resources for initiatives that are important to the college. We have talked before about the expansions that in our programs that's going on at Batesville, at Oxford, at DeSoto, down in Water Valley. So there are so many things, too. that this Northwest Fund, that the Soiree helps to increase and establish these programs. It helps us to broaden those program offerings that our students are taking advantage of.
Patti Gordon is with us for just a little bit longer, and we continue to talk about the foundation and the work that's going on. You did mention, and we joked around of taking a break, and you do have spring break that's coming up, but your work isn't done. I mean, you have to continue to do things. What is next on the schedule for the foundation and for you in that office?
That is great to talk about this, because this is scholarship season. Our students right now, those that are graduating from high school, are applying for scholarships. The deadline for scholarship application is April 1st. And not only can students graduating from high school, but other adult students that may be returning to college to get another career started in their for them. Our scholarship program is really kind of the next thing on the list that we will be awarding come this spring. We have students that are returning to Northwest next fall. We grant them scholarships, and then again, our deadline to apply for scholarships is April the 1st. Students can apply for those that are coming for the fall of 24, this fall.
Excellent. So if there's someone that wants to go and donate now, or, as we know, we can continue to do that and help continue to raise money for these students, and the things that we've talked about are for scholarships, we can still do that, right? Go online. Is that the best way, or how do we do this?
That's right. It's so easy. Our online payment program is just at northwestms.edu/foundation, and there's a donation link there that you can donate to the foundation, whether it be for scholarships, for our Northwest Fund, or maybe even participate in we're still in our Investing Today, Impacting Tomorrow capital campaign, the second phase of that campaign. So we will continue raising funds for that as well.
Last week when I did my show at the career fair that was put on by a couple of our high schools, Oxford and Lafayette, I had the opportunity to finally face-to-face meet Jenny Hurt. It was the first time that
wonderful.
I got a chance to do that, and as she said, we feel like we know each other. It's just been behind microphones and telephones and things of that nature, but good to see that smiling face out recruiting and doing some things as well, and I know Northwest is always out and doing what they can to bring those students in, whatever location it might be.
That is right. Jenny does a great job in our recruiting department. She's the assistant director of recruiting, and she loves students and loves showing them the great advantages of coming on over to Northwest.
Well, my friend, is there anything else we need to do before we are done today? And I'm sure we'll catch up in a month or so.
Yes, we will. We'll have the 2+2 golf tournament that comes up in the fall. We'll be starting to push that out for a save the date. And really just want to thank again everybody that participated, whether it was a sponsorship, whether it was a donation of an auction item, or helped us pull off this event for the Northwest Soiree Boots and Pearls. It was a great event, and we appreciate all the help and support that this event generated.
Patti, thanks for all that you do in pulling this off as well. I look forward to the next conversation, and spring break time, go relax somewhere on a beach, get some sunshine, and have some fun.
Sounds great. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Patti Gordon with us on the program again today with the Northwest Alumni and the Foundation, the executive director there, raising over $127,000 at the soiree, and she talked about where that goes. And again, shout out Daryl, who heard the program and donated to the auction, and any of those of you that were involved and helped out in every way, sponsoring auction items, whatever it might be, for helping out. Hey, listen, go to HeindelCenter.org. Go there and check out what's next. We have coming up on the 26th, the performance of Annie, and we will have that at Heindel Center for kind of the wrap-up of March, so to speak. And I do believe Blake Bostic's going to be back on with us soon to discuss that and other things that will be going on. But Tuesday, March 26th, 7:30 is the next big thing, as we'll get you into that performance of Annie, which comes up in Senatobia. Of course, we just got done this week with Hetty, the life and inventions of Hetty Lamar, and our friend Heather Massey, who was on with us a couple of weeks ago. And so a lot of great things coming up. Dogman, the musical, in April. If you have children that have read those books and are familiar, all of that coming up. If you're looking at what's happening for Heindel Center in the Performing Arts, it is HeindelCenter.org. I must tell you this before we hit the break. Safari Wines and Spirits in Oxford is taking care of you for a while now, and they can continue. If you're in the Oxford-Lafayette County area looking for those libations, all the favorite brands, the hard ones to get as well. If wine is your thing, Safari is also your place. Over 100 different wines in stock. New stuff arriving frequently. You can browse the selection. Just enjoy everything about it. And then tell Bernard we said hi. Safari Wine and Spirits, South 11th, next to the Flamingo, and behind the old Abner's building behind the Oxford Square. This guy, Jameson Rogers, was honored at the soiree, and so I thought we'd give a little musical note from him on the way out. We'll come back, and it's sports in Northwest next.
We're talking Rangers this hour. Thanks for joining us for the Bank First Ranger Hour. It's a special conversation about Northwest Community College. There's a campus near you, and you can join the conversation by texting to 662-426-1093.
Time to finish up the Bank First Ranger Hour by talking a little Ranger athletics today. And we want to thank, first of all, our guests, Alyssa Algee from the theater department, Patti Gordon from the foundation, talking with us about all of the things that have gone on in their respective worlds. And then to Brian Lentz, who took the phone call this morning and answered a couple of questions so I could, get into this discussion at the back end of the program. Today, weather looks decent, temps in the 70s, and we're going to have some tennis on the Northwest campus. Both men and women beating Southwest Mississippi yesterday, and today hosting Jones College. So the Bobcats are in Senatobia as the tennis action continues there for the Rangers, Lady Ranger tennis team. Jones College, 1 and 3 o'clock, so you can catch tennis on the Northwest campus today. Baseball and softball are in action as well. Softball now up to number 6 in the country for Coach Bramlett and company. They are 13 and actually baseball is 13 and 5 on the season. Let me get the right schedule out here. After playing in Wesson yesterday, where they split, they beat Gulf Coast 10-7 and lost to Colin 4-3. Baseball will be hosting Southwest Mississippi as conference play gets going on for baseball. 2 and 5 for the double dip there in Senatobia against the Southwest Bears. And so conference action begins for Coach Carson and company. As far as softball is concerned, they did, as I mentioned, move up into the rankings at number 6, and they begin conference play today at Southwest Mississippi. So kind of in reverse form for the two. It's a double dip at 1 and 3 in Summit today for softball, and so all that you can find and keep up with at nwccrangers.com. Women's basketball is still going on as well as the 12-team Region 23 tournament gets set to begin. And Saturday, Coach Laterrell Williams and the Lady Rangers will be hosting a game at 3 o'clock. The opponent is still up in the air because the final regular season games are tonight in basketball. The bye for Northwest actually comes tonight. They have finished their regular season for women's basketball at 15-10, and they will be hosting a game on Saturday at 3 against a team to be announced after tonight's games are played in the community college world. So we encourage you, check out nwccrangers.com tomorrow to find out exactly the opponent and how that will shake out in the NJCAA Region 23 tournament. They will at least get to host the first game before traveling to what looks like Pearl River, I believe, after that. So good luck to all of the teams. There's tennis action today on campus. There'll be baseball coming up on the weekend, and a busy sports week will conclude and continue with all of this crossover action that's going on. And I want to thank Brian Lentz for all that information. And again, just go to nwccrangers.com to find out what you want to know in sports. What you want to know in the academic world is northwestms.edu. You want to find something at the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts, it's heindelcenter.org. We thank everybody for being involved in our Bank First Ranger Hour for yet another Thursday. This Bank First Ranger Hour is in the books, and we're so thankful that you joined us on this March 7th edition of the show. I leave. Gerard's next. Don't forget also, supertalk.fm is a place to go to keep up with any of the news in Mississippi, and you can subscribe to the free weekly newsletter there as well. We'll do a program tomorrow. I hope you join us. So long.
Now the time has come for leaving, fear now we shall return. We were so glad we could make it, but so sad.